A flash of menace crosses the creature's eyes, a drip of blood on its lips, the white gleam of fangs in moonlight. You should turn away, you should run, but you are transfixed, mesmerized. There is a beauty in the darkness of the thing, and the allure is enticing you to step a little closer. What tempts you from the shadows? What dangers cross your path? How do you avoid the vampire's kiss? Welcome, fellow Mooncats. Welcome, viewers new and returning, to the third in a series of 8 special readings, taking us all the way up to Halloween night. Each reading is drawn from an element associated with the hallowed evening, as we use tarot divination to continue the rich history of divination at this time of year. This time is well known to be auspicious for communication with spirit, and so tonight we reveal the destructive allure that threatens to drain us in the kiss of the vampire. 3 vampires sit at the center of the table, waiting to reveal themselves. Each has been assigned a number. Take a moment now to study them and choose the one that draws you, remembering that it is okay to choose more than one. You can even choose all 3. For those of you who chose vampire number 1, this is your reading. And the name of this vampire is Anti-Hero. Let me draw the card a little bit closer. Maverick, risk taker, rule breaker. Those are your traits. These are the traits that can sometimes lead you astray. As you will almost always be rejecting authority. But with all of these dark allures that we speak of, the traits within us that create the dark allure have a flip side. It's like the other side of the coin. The two things are so connected, so much a part of each other, and you can't have the good without the bad. You can't have the heads without the tails. So talking about the dark side of this vampire is feeling neglected and feeling resentment. Your allure is to be a rebel, and there's the good and the bad side of that. And we're going to discuss that a little bit. Now, with these oracle cards in particular, this is an oracle deck by Lucy Cavendish, and I always give her credit because Lucy Cavendish has an amazingly insightful writing. And at one point I am going to read from the book. The reason I'm doing this is because there is an importance in the chosen words and in the way that they are written, and for them to be conveyed in the way that they are presented may particularly clarify something for you or trigger something for you that's important. And so that is why I will read from the book with the Oracle deck here. The dark allure that draws you when you do accomplish is the negativity of feeling overlooked and resentment that others receive the glory for your good deeds. This may be a pattern that you're recognizing in your life, that every time you do something, it seems like someone else gets the credit, or you do something and no one notices, and then someone else does the same thing and they get tons of praise and acclaim and applause, but you don't get that. There's a suggestion that there could be a reason for this in your life, and the reason could be that you were meant to remain on the outside, that there are advantages to that position. And I think of it like being the man behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. There's reasons to stay there in that place. So you are in a place where you have a powerful, very strong connection to your unique energy and power, to everything that makes you unique and different. So the good side of all this is that you are an example to others who think too much in the box and who are too overly concerned about labels. And you show people, you show everyone that doing good isn't always going to fit a cultural stereotype. So at this point, I'm going to read the selection from the Oracle book. Some of you may wish to hear this and some of you may not. If you want to skip ahead in the reading, you can do so using the timestamps in the video description. You are doing a good thing, but it is unlikely you will wear the garland of the hero or be recognized for any real contribution to the greater good. You are not the kind of being who people acknowledge, and it has been this way for a long time. This is because most people are trained to recognize what looks good from appearances, the kind of jobs people have, and the way you humans even walk and talk. And the person, the human being you are, is something that cannot be identified and classified simply. But the truth is that you have done a very good thing. You are a safe person, a good one. We can sense this from you, and we wish to acknowledge the valor and the brightness that surrounds you. The deed that you have done will not be recognized as soon as you would wish, but the impact it has will ripple out through the energy field of the world. And in return, you will be noticed by many, many who also will never quite fit in or be recognized despite the good they do. Do not take this to heart. Do not allow this to ever prevent you from doing what you are urged to do. And do not allow all the moments where you have been unlike your best self to define you. You are a mixture of what people call good and bad, and what is taking place right now is a kind of working your way through what you feel you must do to rebalance the ledger in life. This does not mean you will ever receive an award or be offered a hand to shake. You may even fail to be recognized again and again. But now we see you, and so many others see you too. You will find that creatures who are less socialized will trust you and come to you. The young, animals, creatures whose senses are more alert and who rely on feeling rather than what they see. You are a truly beautiful soul in parts. And yes, you have done things that have been called wrong and were. But humans are complex, and they enjoy calling you wrong, for then they feel superior, and they draw attention to their supposed goodness. All are the sum of their actions and their choices within their circumstances. Even the roughest and most humble among us can become the hero, and those who are greatest and most seen to do good often are glorifying in their own virtues. Do not fear. You are a walker of the night, and yet your time will come. You will inspire love. You are more than those who cannot see you say you are. Their voices are empty. Your life, although strange, is full. There's always a suggestion of how to, as we say, do the work and to further your spiritual development. And in this case, you're urged to remember your individuality is a gift from the divine. You are the only person on the planet like you. You are truly here for a purpose, and you truly are needed here. No matter how modest this purpose, do it well with all your heart, and there will be no more loneliness. You are likely struggling with feelings of being misunderstood and being alone. But though no one would ever be exactly the same as you, others like you are also strange and also living their life in their own unique way. And in that way, can you understand each other? Okay, I'm drawing from the Gothic Tarot now, and I'm going to select cards to help us understand how this trait is affecting your life at this moment and the direction that you're going in. Oh dear. So when a bunch of cards fall out like that, I can't draw a reading from that, but it does tell me there's an urgency to the message here. There's an eagerness to communicate with you about this. There's, for all of you who are feeling that you're in alignment with this card and with this energy, Spirit is so eager to tell you how good you are. Okay, at the center, we're going to talk about judgment. We have a Knight of Cups and the Knave of Swords. We have a King of Pentacles. And the Ace of Wands. So now that we've examined this vampire of the soul. Now we're going to take a look at how it is affecting you, or what the potential outcomes are. And here at the center of this V shape, I have the Judgment card. That is Major Arcana. Judgment is about the karma that you create. Judgment is the result or the outcome of your deeds that you have done in the world. So what you do in the world is a very important part of your soul journey. The reason you have the nature that you have is to affect change. Going to the left side of the V, we're looking at the direction of indulging the darkness or the darker traits, the darker side of this trait. And here we have the Knight of Cups, and this is bringing in your communication within yourself about love and with others about love, how you show up to them. Now, the Knight of Cups is a messenger, so we've got that part of it, and we got matters of the heart or the psyche here. And this is just like the Vampire card was saying. There can be here a sense of resentment over not being acknowledged enough, and over being misunderstood. And it is often that you will find that you are misunderstood, because people just don't try to understand a different perspective. I see this gargoyle with the open mouth and the spilling blood, and this makes me think of wounds, deep wounds that are so deep that they're powerfully protected by the psyche. Remember that gargoyles are protectors. And then I see this vampire to the side, this goth to the side, who is drinking from that wound. In other words, the pain of the past is feeding your thoughts and emotions. Now, if you give into that way of thinking, then do you become someone who is just hurt and expressing that all the time, and also resentful and expressing that all of the time? And so follow this energy of going into that wallowing place in that dark side and just reliving that hurt again and again. It leads to the place of the Knave of Swords. And we're going to just take a moment with that card as well. Just taking a look at that, we see this very sullen looking gargoyle protecting the tombstone. If you follow into the dark side of this and wallow in feelings of rejection and wallow in feelings of being unloved, that leads to the place of the Knave of Swords. The Knave of Swords is a person who is waiting to pounce, looking for opportunities. This is someone who may be spitefully negative, looking for any chance to pounce on someone, and then be hurtful in some way. It's as if to say, I'll scratch you before you scratch me. If you find that you're in that place, if you find yourself here, if you're wallowing in the negativity and pity yourself for being misunderstood and for not getting recognition, then it's good that you've realized that, because now you can do the work to pull yourself out of that. Remember how we discussed earlier, doing the work in this case means having those certain affirmations. And I might repeat those one more time at the end of the reading here. Now we can talk about the right side. The right side is going to a positive direction with it. Now, when we talk about judgment, we're talking about how you show up and what you do in the world. And so here we have King of Pentacles. On the positive side, when you are the innovator, the renovator, the person who rebels and creates anew. And this is why you're the King of Pentacles. So there's a couple of different ways to look at Pentacles. You can see them as materialistic gain, actual financial coins. And in this case, being the King of Pentacles means that you not only have a lot of money coming in from your purpose, but that also you know how to manage it well. You have a good mind for money and don't waste it. Again, more about being that King of Pentacles. It means being secure. Again, this is not someone who runs away. This is someone who has a very strong foundation. And then, also on the ultimate side, on the right side of this reading, we have the Ace of Wands. Oops. Hit the camera there. Okay. The Ace of Wands is the ultimate card of creativity, manifest. Well, no, Magician is the master manifester, but this is the ultimate energy to do that. And so the Ace of Wands means that you are winning with what you create in the world. Wands bring that subtle energy and harness it and focus it into some kind of reaction or creation into the outer world. And so you're taking all this, it's like you're alchemically creating, because you take all this energy and you mix it and you direct it towards what it is that you want to do. What is your goal? What is your creation in this world? And we all have something, because even if you want to be an accountant, then what you're creating is accounting books. My point being that you may have a different way of doing the books than others do. So you can kind of tell what path is on by how you feel. If your finances feel very much under control and you're experiencing those moments where you can go out, relax, and have a happy talk with your friends, and that's fine. And they're all good. But we just make sure not to stand there. Just make sure not to stay on the dark side too long. My cat agrees. Okay. So I'm going to repeat those affirmations for you one more time that you can write them down. This is from the book by Lucy Cavendish. But it's important to say these affirmations to yourself, maybe even while listening to music, meditative type music. I know. Okay. These are the kind of affirmations that I want you to write down. My individuality is a gift. I am the only person on the planet like me. No matter how modest this purpose, I do it well. I do it with all my heart. Okay, that concludes the reading for vampire number 1. If you chose another vampire, feel free to visit that video now. This is the third reading in the Halloween read-a-thon series, and I hope you're looking forward to the next video as well. If you would like to see more of what I'm posting, go ahead and visit my channel, and it's Mooncat Tarot. In the description below, you see that I am offering free readings in the month of November and December, one reading each month, to well, anyone who would like it. So you can follow the link to my Calendly page and sign up for readings there. And most of all, I just want to say thank you for coming by. I hope you've truly enjoyed your reading, and I hope to catch you in another video. For those of you who chose Vampire number 2, this is your reading. And the name of your inner vampire is Hope. How does hope become a drain? Well, actually, that happens when we look at the reverse side of it. So how does hope become a drain? This happens when we look at the reverse side of hope, when we become hopeless. And as I was saying in the previous reading, when we look at these vampiric allures, when we look at, because of the traits that we have, the darkness that we are privy to, we must remember that there is always a flip side. It's like two sides of a coin, and you can't have the heads without the tails. So as hope can be worked as a positive trait for you, it can also become the area that pulls you into darkness. So when we are without hope, we feel like we lose touch with our heart. If you're having that sort of period of time, if you find yourself feeling that way, then you know that you're working on the reverse side of hope. If it feels like life is futile, if it feels like even the act of hoping, of choosing to believe that there are reasons for optimism, if that just even feels out of reach or unbelievable, then you know you're working on the negative side of hope. And so if that can be tended to, if we can flip that coin, it creates a more positive outcome than what you're looking at the present moment. And so, yes, you can have all the hope in the world, and still things can go wrong. Bad things can happen. But it's believing that tomorrow can be a better day that gives you the energy to keep going forward and to keep reaching for something better. And so when you are on the positive side, that positive side of hope, then your ability to create possibilities, even in a seemingly hopeless situation or a difficult situation, you become this shining example for others. And it has this very strong ripple effect. And so this is part of your purpose here, as you live. This is how you are meant to be an example for others. It's your ability to manifest change, and you manifest that change through hope. Now, when it comes to working with cards, there are certain oracle decks that are so well written that I feel I must do it justice and read the entry as it is. Now, this is an oracle deck, Le Vampires by Lucy Cavendish. And her writing is so intuitive and so beautifully rendered that I feel that her exact words should be conveyed. And this is very important. The right cards come out for the right reasons. It is no accident that you were drawn to this one. And a certain turn of phrase or a certain way of putting something can suddenly create illumination and give you a mental breakthrough of clarity and understanding. And that is why I think it is important too to keep to her exact words. And at this point, I am going to go ahead and read her entry into the Oracle book regarding this card. Now, if you don't prefer to listen to that, feel free to skip ahead in the reading. You'll be able to do that by using the timestamps in the video. This little creature, this small one, a vampire with a heart and soul, is surrounded by death, by endings, by sadness, by the void, and by those who have left her. Like you, she is facing the darkness within others and within life, and she feels utterly alone. But what she has with her is the ability to hope. And she chooses this. It is not something that is always easy, but she has lit a candle in the deep darkness upon a heap of skulls, and nothing else. And she has struck a light and held up the light. She is quietly defiant in the face of death, of change, of silence, of loneliness, of criticism, and of a great dilemma. If this card finds you at this time, you are being asked to rise above those who are giving into hopelessness and negativity. It does not ask you to be falsely hopeful, or to put on a happy face and refuse to face what must be faced. It asks you to be hopeful. You do not yet know the outcome. You do not yet know what will happen next. But what you can be assured of is that this hope that you have, the capacity to create, will sustain you in a time of great difficulty. Keep it strong, quiet, small even. Face what you must face. Do what must be done. And know that yes, this situation is very difficult. No doubt about it at all. But we vampires ask you to know that one of the most beautiful and life-affirming things any of us can do is refuse to give in. And not only that, to do what must be done with hope. That light will attract help, intervention, assistance, and our admiration and respect, which in turn will deliver more assistance. You know there is some optimism you can create. You know you are the bearer of the torch of the light in this circumstance, and you know this hope will warm, inspire, and nurture others. Lighten up the world you are within. Strike the light and watch the shadows and dangers recede to the corners. Keep the flame burning. So we understand that there is work to do. And when we speak of doing the work, it's about training ourselves into the positive. That's what doing the work is about. And how can you do that in this case? It's helpful to use affirmations. And there are some affirmations that go along with this card. I have hope. Hope will make this moment easier to bear. This hardship is impermanent. Tomorrow will be better. You may want to write those affirmations down, and as you work on nurturing that flame within, that beautiful light of hope, then you see the world around you change and become more hopeful. And so at this moment, as we have identified your vampire, the next step is to turn to the Gothic Tarot, and we're going to see the effects of this vampiric trait upon you in your life and the directions that it may go in. We're going to use a V-shape layout to look at two possible projections, one of what becomes of walking the negative path, and one of what becomes of turning that around and walking the positive path. So bear with me a moment as I change the camera angle so that we can view the full layout of the cards. Okay, let's begin the tarot shuffle now. Sounds like it should be a song. The tarot shuffle. And this is at the center of the reading. So this is what is hanging in the balance. And when we're talking about that positive or negative side of hope, then what we're looking at here is the ability to fully enjoy life. So the Four of Cups card is the card of ennui. It's being bored, dissatisfied. It's having beautiful things around you, but not being able to appreciate it. Maybe because you're just too sullen or too focused on something that you wanted but didn't get, or that didn't work out the way that you expected. And so this is that sort of yin-yang of the card is can you embrace those beautiful cups that are right there around you? Can you finally open your eyes to them and realize how beautiful your life is, and find the joy in your life and be able to experience it and share that joy with others? Or is it going to continue on in this dreadful feeling of boredom and restlessness and ennui? All right. So first we're going to work to the left side of the V, and the left side of the V is about what is the projection for that negative side of the coin, wallowing in that negative side. Now you might ask, why on earth would we look at that side? And we look at it to recognize whether or not that's the path we are on. So with this Four of Cups card, we're looking for the negative projections of this card. Where is it leading on the negative side? We have the World card. That is too many. We have to keep going. We need one more card to understand the projected outcome of this negative side. Okay, that is the Three of Wands on that side of the V. Now we're going to look to the positive side. Clearing the energy in the cards. We want to work the positive side now. What comes of that positive side of hope? Here we have the Ten of Wands. And we have Temperance. Okay, so at the center is this question of the ability to find the joy in life. And when we look at the negative side of the path of hope, we see the World card first. Now the World card is a card of great success and accomplishment. It's even worldwide acclaim for having done so incredibly well in the cycle that you've been through. But there's a darker side to the World card, which is one of stagnation, not being able to complete things, the inability to finish what is started. And if you find yourself just repeatedly, like, kind of losing your gusto in the middle of a project, just losing, and then the project just forever remains unfinished, then you know that you're on the negative side of this, of hope on this one. And then the Three of Wands card tops that, and the Three of Wands card, this is like where we're leading to, is all about building and creating and doing the first step, the second step, the next step, and being ready to take your ideas into the world and create, build, enterprise. What you can not just manifest, but physically build and make in the world. Only in this case, it's all bound up. It's tangled. It's unclear. It can't function because it's all tangled up. It's being restricted. It's being held back. And so this is what the negative side of hope creates. If you find that your life is reflecting these things, then you know that you're working in the negative side of hope. We've identified a core belief that needs changing. Looking to the positive side next. And in the context of this reading, I'm seeing that card actually giving a little bit of a warning, which is to guard against taking on too much, too many burdens, too hard to carry, too hard to do, can't finish the work. Sometimes there's over eagerness in the joy and the hopeful state, and so it's just kind of guarding against that and making sure that you're also time managing and realistic about what can be done in a certain amount of time. And so that's the Ten of Wands card here. That's the first card leaning up to the right. And now if we look at Temperance, that is the final card here on the right. Which means that finally we reach a place of balance. You may find that it's almost like an excited puppy when there's all that joy and that happiness and that energy, and just what do you do with it? What do you do with it? You're running in circles, and well, maybe chasing your own tail. So with the Ten of Wands outcome that can happen even with positive energy, with hope, maybe it will happen. Maybe you will take on this project and that project and another project and another project. I can do it all, and then you realize I've got a lot to carry here. So that's where Temperance comes in, and we learn how to balance life out. We learn how to live in a more integrated and peaceful existence, a peaceful state. And so that super beautiful, joyous state is still there, but we know how to balance it out and say what you can and can't do, that there has to be a limit, that your time is valuable when you use it. And we always see that in Temperance, the liquid passes from back and forth from one cup to the other. This is that idea of balancing something out. All right, this concludes the reading for those who chose the second vampire. I will repeat the affirmations again. If you can get a pen and paper, you may want to write them down. Affirmations should be said every day, and the particular times that are good are like right when you first wake up or right before you go to bed, or both. Just saying those affirmations, starting your day with something beautiful. Okay, and I'll repeat the affirmations for this card. I have hope. hope will make whatever is taking place at this moment easier to bear. This hardship is impermanent. Tomorrow will be better. So those are the kinds of ideas that you want to put into your affirmations and repeat them. And that is doing the work of working yourself onto that positive pathway, a much better outcome than wallowing in the boredom of life. That concludes the reading for Vampire number 2, and I hope that you have enjoyed your reading. If you have, please go ahead and hit that like button at the bottom of the screen, and let's share these messages with others. If you're interested in further readings, you may want to check out my channel. We're doing the full Halloween read-a-thon, and we'll return to a regular reading schedule after that. I am offering free readings in the month of November and December, so you are able to sign up, first come, first serve. I'm only asking that everyone sign up for one per month because I'm not sure what kind of response to expect, and with work-life balance and being able to give the full attention to a reading that I should, I wouldn't want to try to overdo it. But free readings are available anyway through November and December. If you would like to sign up for a free reading, you can do that by clicking on the link in the description box below. And most of all, thank you for coming by. I'm so happy to share these messages with you. Thank you for watching, and I hope to catch you in another video. For those of you who chose Vampire number 3, her name is That Death Will Come, with the keywords mortal, finite, and fragile. And so as we identify the inner vampire, what we are recognizing is the kind of pitfalls that we are heir to according to the combination of our personal traits. And so where there is a dark side, there is also light. And as I have done in the other readings, I compare this to the flip side of a coin, where the two are so connected that you cannot have heads without the tails. They are two parts of one thing. And so here we are going to examine this vampire in the positive and the negative. And first we're going to look at that negative draw, which you can be drawn down into what it almost entices you. It almost attracts you, and you can almost want to go there. And this is with the knowledge that our lives will end inevitably. It leads to living in this state of constant doubt and fear. And because you're surrounded by doubt and fear, you end up feeling trapped. And by feeling trapped and like there's nothing you can do, then you are killing yourself before your life is naturally ending. And so to take your power back in this situation is to kill the thing that is killing you. How is this done? And it's done by working on the flip side of the coin. Yes, this life is inevitably going to end, and yet that means you have this one lifetime. You have this limited time to make changes, learn lessons, and move closer to your true purpose of your soul. And so that is a blessing. This opportunity to be here and to do this is a blessing, and it's constant opportunity around you. Knowing that you will not waste your life. That life is too precious to squander it away. That it's a gift, to recognize life as a gift and have it compel to lead you into a life that is full of meaning. there are affirmations that can help you do the work. Doing the work is flipping that coin over, flipping the negative to the positive, and drawing yourself towards the positive instead of drawing yourself towards the negative. It's training yourself to be drawn into the positive. And how you can do that, one method for doing that is daily affirmations. And there are affirmations that go with this card. So you may want to get out a pen and paper and take a moment to write these affirmations down. And practicing these affirmations every day can help you to work the positive side of this coin. Okay, if you're ready, here are the affirmations. I honestly create meaning in each day. I choose to make the very best of the time I have. Every day is a gift, and I make it count. I live my life fully. And those affirmations can be used early in the morning as your day begins to put you in that positive state, and at night before you go to sleep, so that you're experiencing the positive side of that. Okay. Now with this particular oracle deck, which is Le Vampires by Lucy Cavendish, her writing is so poignant, it's so beautifully rendered, that I believe that it's important to speak her words just as they are written. And I'm going to take a moment to read that passage now, her description of this vampire from the book. Now, there are reasons why I choose to do this, and I choose to do it because there can be just a certain wording or a certain phrase that might break your mind open and allow that light of illumination to come in. And so listen carefully and consider the passage that I'm about to read. One day, as all of us must, you will die. What do these words strike into you? Fear? Resolution to live? Acceptance? Or is there simply a sense of what is not known? We have lived longer than humans, yet we are not so old as the cycle of life. We too will come to our ending, and we, just as you, do not know for certain what will take place. Will there be a void, an emptiness, a nothingness? Will there be peace? Will there be punishment? But one thing we can be sure of, there will be an ending. Those who tell you they know for sure what lies on the other side, believe them not, because when we live, that is what we know, the flow and pulse of hot blood. We have the opportunity to be good, and when we say good, we mean fine, of quality. There may be nobility. When there is an ending of the kind that death is, we separate from those on the other side. There are those who speak with the dead and listen to the spirits. That is good and well, but do not dwell on that, and do not deny that you will die. There are those who will try to sell you ways to lengthen your life, give you prayers and spells to never die. But we tell you now, accept this you must. Even we die, and we live longer than even the Fae. Your mortality is beautiful. Of it is born compassion, the desire to live well and deeply. In the brevity of human spans is the impetus that drives you to go explore, to go further, and to create rich experience. In the full understanding of your mortality and its beauty, you will begin to explore the potential of being alive now. It matters not if you have many more lives to live, have lived before, or will live again. All that matters is now and what you do with every moment you are blessed with. We all get drawn into darkness from time to time. It's part of the life experience. I went through terrible darkness of my own, and at that time, I was not grateful for life or appreciative of it at all. In fact, I resented it and didn't want it. And it was a long, hard climb to come out from that darkness into a place of deep appreciation for living and being alive. And that's the difference. That's the flip side of the coin, as I was describing before. So now that we understand the inner vampire, we're going to turn to the Gothic Tarot to pull some cards to understand the influence of this particular aspect on the outcome of our directions in life. Now, what I'm going to do is put a layout into a V shape, and at the center of the V is going to be what is in the balance, and then on the left side will be what occurs, or what is the potential projection of falling into the dark side. And then on the right is the projection of drawing ourselves towards the light side. And then we'll see what the influence of this vampire is. So bear with me a moment as I'm going to adjust the camera so that we can see the full layout of the cards. So the first card to come out will be at the center of the V, and the first card is about what's hanging in the balance between the positive and the negative. And what's hanging there is the ability to design your own life. It's making a decision to create your life in a certain way and then making that happen. And there's the first wand is the first step, the second wand is the second step, the third one is the further development, and the fourth one means it's finally complete. Okay, so now we're going to look at the negative side. What happens to this when here we have the High Priest. Okay. One more projection towards the negative side. Okay, so that third card up on this side going towards the left or the negative is the Hermit. Let's continue on towards the positive side of this and see where we can go with that. Okay. So let's discuss what we have here a little bit. So we discussed the Two of Wands already and how it's about having that ability to design your own life and decide for yourself what you want it to be, how you want it to look, and to make that happen. But when you go to the negative side of that, that would be becoming, we talked about living in that fear state makes you feel like you have no freedom, like you're trapped and you can't get out of your trapped situation. And so when you feel all trapped and stuck like that, you're not creating your life. You're becoming very passive. And then when you become so passive, you become overly reliant upon the organizational structures that surround you. So this would be like corporation, government, church. This would be allowing those external things to tell you who you are instead of deciding for yourself who you are. And when you become that passive and your life then leads to the hermit, which is feeling very much alone and lonely. The hermit retreats into a cave without another soul around, high up in the mountains. And the hermit has a time of reflection and scholarship there, but there is that profound loneliness with it, which is to say that you just feel like you're not connected to anyone, and that is because you're not. If you are not living according to who you can sense and feel and know that you are, if you're allowing external forces to tell you that and then tell you how to live and what to do, then you're not being your true self. And how can you connect to others if you're not being your true self? Any connections that you have are going to feel kind of empty or not real or vain. So if that is the state that you're in, where you feel like external organizations have too much control over your life and you feel kind of empty and alone, then you know that you're on the dark side of this path, of this vampiric trait. And then if we turn that to the positive, very quickly, look what happens. If we turn that to the positive, we fill our life with possibility instead of futility. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is an extremely fulfilling state. It's abundant, it's flourishing, it's beautiful. Pentacles are tending to earthly needs, and they also, in this case, can represent spiritual energy. And so it's just this complete, well-rounded sense of fulfillment, of having your roots deep in the earth, and yet being able to reach high up into the heavens. So there is an incredible sense of personal fulfillment because you're using personal expression to create your life. And then, of course, you're in the state of the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a master of creation. The Queen of Wands is very charismatic. Well, of course, if you're being true to yourself and who you are, that happens naturally. You become a charismatic individual. It's something that people might think you either have charisma or you don't, but not true. Any person can have charisma if they have the ability to think positively about themselves. And so with that very first step, feeble though it may be, with that very first step of establishing who you are in the world and your life the way you want it to be, how you want it to be, that's definitely wand energy, because we want to make things in the real physical world. And then, of course, Pentacles deals with the physical world too, but here we're talking about a great deal of abundance. In fact, the Nine of Pentacles is as abundant as you can possibly be without a romantic partner. It's just a life that feels beautiful, a life that feels wonderful, like fresh air is breathed into it every day. Okay, so just remember the affirmations to repeat morning and night. It's not to say that the manifestations or the affirmations will magically manifest, but to say that practicing them allows you to be in the positive state where you can create something positive and good. Okay, that concludes the reading for those who chose Vampire number 3, and I thank you for coming by. If you're interested in more videos, there's my channel. You can see that link in the box below. There's also the option to sign up for a free personal reading. I am doing free readings for the months of November and December. You can sign up for them now by following my Calendly link in the page below. Most of all, I just thank you for watching and hope to catch you in tomorrow's video.